These are some of the questions you can just start to ask yourself. And I think, when what you kind of answered there, it's already there. You've already thought about some of it. And so you'll probably find yourself just, saying the same thing over and over again. But this is a really good exercise too, because it helps you reinforce it. Some of the questions might be asking similar things, but with a different twist to it. So to get you to kind of like think about it in different ways. And that helps you to kind of develop more of a bendable brand, something that you can keep it flexible with. So for example, like, identifying who you serve, you realize like it's not just your musicians and creatives, it's also people that do podcasts. So, people that do any type of audio creativity, it sounds like you're willing to serve. So let's see. You had mentioned, I have my notes here, you mentioned developing a vision, creating a logo. I think the first thing I wanted to do is just kind of go through a couple sections of this to help you kind of refine that a bit. And this is going to be more of us talking it through a little bit more. Okay. And I'll probably ask questions to kind of get you to dig a little deeper. So the first thing is vision. And so this is basically, think of this as like the North Star. It's the reason for your existence as a creative. You figure out your own purpose here. And this may be something that you never, live to achieve. Who knows? There might be something really, really long time from now, right? But it's something you're striving for. So it's something that's positive, motivating, fun for you to talk about. And it could also just be like, the conversation starter in some areas too. So what do you want people to think about questions like this? What do you want people to say about you and the work that you've done with this? What's the lasting impression that you want to leave on your community and the entire world? So think lofty and big about this is what we say. And I think it doesn't have to be like, hey, all about on purpose. This could be just you as an individual.
In general, yeah.
Yeah. So,
ask me, you want me to write this down or answer this?
Yeah, you can talk through it. Like I said, I'm gonna give you the video afterwards too. And if there's just, what I'm gonna do is type out things that jump out to me that I'm like, okay,
that's perfect.
You can always tweak this here too because you have access to it.
Excellent. I am a huge fan of being a creative and sparking the minds, and I'm big on community. My father was a community activist. He created his own community theater. He was big with helping young actors move on to bigger things as well. I thought that was interesting, and I kind of like, in my own way, odd sense of destiny, find myself trying to create the same thing but with music instead of acting. So one of the things that helped me and that saved me as a kid was getting down with music. That was one of the things that kept me kind of busy. It promoted that need for community. It actually satisfied that need for community, creativity. And from then it brought me places that were outside of the spectrum of where I thought I would go. So I think that's cool. My goal would be to unite most of the people out here. Like there's a good community in Tacoma. There's a good community in Seattle. I would like to unite all, everything in between, and just have it as like a central hub, specifically for people who are just like, you have a lot of loners in this area too, right? Everybody's doing music and super talented people in all different forms. I just want to have something that's not that feels organic, and people can go and be free to create. I don't need to be the head of everything, I just want to I want to provide the space, provide the area where people can come in, they can record, they can create, they can freely express themselves, and without any barriers. If anything is said about me, I just want to curate the culture. Like, I want to be, obviously, money is always a decent thing, but more important than money is really what you do with your business. What I do in my business is really, I want to inspire. I want to inspire fellow artists like myself. I want to inspire up-and-coming artists, students, I want to create that community where everybody's kind of paying it forward, give back, meet other people, network.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's been a dream of mine, just to kind of have that hub. Like, I've always wanted to do Sundays as the day of the creators, like to play off the spirituality portion, like just the day of creators. So where I can meet with different artists on a Sunday and we just jam out and see what comes of it. So I always thought that was cool, just to kind of have that vibe. I always thought that, as I told you before, like the whole Soulquarians vibe, where you had a bunch of different artists. You had the Akabadus, the Commons, Mos Def, Kweli, the Roots, all these people in one area creating. And it's like, wow, all these people are creating. Like, yeah, like leave your ego at the door. This is a place for creation. If something sounds nice, you don't have any barriers to like, oh, you don't do this music, so you can't be a part of this. This is freedom. If you vibe with that person, you vibe with it, go ahead, do your thing. And that's what I want to have.
Cool. I like that. So the next step is getting a little clearer on that. So your mission essentially is describing what you're going to do to get to that vision. So you can have, hey, this is the goal that I'm going to do, but what's the process and plan for that? So that's the place in the future. Your mission is made up of all the various steps along the way that you're going to do to reach that future. So it can also be a series of milestones, something that's measurable. Once you knock it out the way, you move on to the next. Like, what's the next stage? Like, I'm reaching this level, I'm elevate to that level.
Yeah.
And so, for example, sometimes people will do this with their businesses. They'll say, hey, every quarter we want to make this amount of money that comes in. And continue to drop our expenses. By 2 years from now, we want to be this. So let's go into that, and then I also have some questions too about some of the things you said here that I think will help us understand that. But I'm gonna let you just go first on what you have.
So when it comes to the mission and goals and things like that, I am very big on baby steps. Like I do think about, I want to, before you take over the world, you got to walk outside and take over. And so I really want a chance to, in the beginning, we're just starting out. My big thing is building a community, which means talking to the local, getting people to record here, and obviously making money. My goal is to cover overhead costs, at least. So if I can cover overhead costs, I can start working more towards promoting it more. Because right now, as you know, with small businesses, it's all of your money.
Yeah.
So when it stops costing me money, personally, that's the first goal, is to have it start paying for the overhead. If it pays for the house, that's good. And then, of course, I will move on to doing more promotion, scheduling, and actually coming up with events, not necessarily at the studio, but it could be working with others to be sponsored by the studio. So I would love that, but still keeping my studio as a creative hub. I want them to be a place where people are recording like, hey, I had a good experience. I'm also big on customer service. I'm 30 years in, like, essentially. Like, I feel like I'm years in of customer service. I want people to feel welcome when they walk in to the studio. I want there to be follow-up. I've been in studios where the person obviously doesn't care who records there. It's just like, yo, give me your money. Here's the board, here's the mic, let it go. And I don't want to take that approach. I want all my engineers, me as the owner, to take a hands-on approach to each artist. We'll follow up. I'm definitely down with a mentoring program eventually, to mentor young artists, high school kids, all that, so they can see how recording works. Because this is a home of free expression. So I want people to learn how to express themselves in a productive manner. So I definitely want to give that to them. I had